grilling later, and I thought, what better side to have with a nice juicy steak than string bean salad. String bean salad is one of my favorite kind of barbecue summer sides. I've had it for as long as I can remember. I feel as though my dad invented this. I don't know anyone else who has heard of this dish or makes it. Whenever I mention it to any of my friends or anything, they're always like, huh? And then I make it for them and they're like, oh, that's good. It is so easy. There are only a few ingredients: string beans, garlic, olive oil, white vinegar, salt, and pepper. That's it. I usually like to make this a day ahead of time because I really like the way it pickles the green beans, but I would say at least give it a few hours to sit after you make it. A little bit of prep and we can get going. Let's do it. First thing we have to do is get the green beans in order. I have here just over 3/4 pound of just regular old green beans. These are obviously best right out of the garden, but I don't have any yet. It's not time, so I picked these up from the store. They'll do just fine. What I'm gonna do is just trim off the edges and then put them into my little colander here because I gotta give them a rinse. Recipe followers, I am very sorry, but there are no measurements, and there never will be, to this dish. It's all very personal. It's based on what you like for flavors. For example, I like this dish a lot more vinegary than a lot of people do, so I add more vinegar than normal. I do more of like an equal ratio vinegar to olive oil. If you wanted it less pungent, you could just do like a 2-to-1 normal ratio, but it's all based on what you like for flavors. That same philosophy goes with your garlic. I like garlic, but be aware that this garlic, even though we're gonna be putting it into the hot string beans, it will start to cook very slightly, but for the most part, it's gonna remain raw. So you're gonna get kind of a little bit of a spicy flavor. So because of that, I'm gonna chop it up super fine. No one likes to chomp on a huge piece of garlic. I've got some salted boiling water over on the stove. These have been rinsed down, and I'm gonna just go and boil these until they have like a slight bend and a little bit of a crunch still. You can cook these however you like, to whatever kind of consistency you'd like. I suggest doing them more on the crunchier side, since the longer they sit in the oil and vinegar, the softer they'll get. If you like that texture, go for it. If you want to cook these until they are completely soft, no bite to them, just be aware that the longer they sit, they might turn a little bit to mush. I don't mind that. I myself am a soggy cereal person, so do whatever you like. All right, these were boiling for about 7 minutes. They are perfect, just how I like them. So I'm gonna make sure they're good and drained. I'm gonna put these into a bowl, and right away, I'm gonna put this garlic in here. You instantly start to smell the garlic. I'm gonna give this a toss. All of that heat can now get that garlic. It's almost kind of starting to steam it, so it just takes a little bit of the raw edge off, but it's still real good. This is the important part. I can hear my dad just like slamming this into my head. Megan, make sure you put the vinegar on first. If you put the olive oil on first, the vinegar won't be able to get into the beans. Everything will just slip off of it. So the olive oil will be the last thing. I have just some plain white distilled vinegar, and I'm just kind of eyeball it. Give this a toss. Lots of pepper. Lots of salt. Give that a toss. Now that we've given the vinegar enough time to kind of like seep into the beans, I'm gonna start adding my olive oil, just a little at a time until I get what I like. Now it's kind of like a balancing act. You can mix this all up, taste it. If you think maybe it's too vinegary, add some more olive oil. Just make it to how you like it. and also adjust your salt and pepper. I've got it to where I want it. I'm just gonna let this sit. Best let sit at room temperature. The flavors really get in there, but you can store this in the fridge. They've already started to soften up. When I pull these out of the water, they were definitely crunchy, but now they're just starting to bend more, and that liquid is starting to just get into those beans, and it is delicious. I could drink this liquid right now, but I won't. Give it an occasional toss, and we'll revisit later. It has been a bit now. I have got the grill sparked up, ready for my steak, but these green beans are just beautiful. They've been sitting here marinating. It gets juicier and juicier. Those flavors are just like getting into each other. And I need to try one. Just one. I can't have them all. I want to save some for dinner. Like little bits of garlic. It's all juicy from the vinegar and the olive oil. That's good. That is so delicious. It is so perfect. Great if you're eating anything rich. Perfect for a barbecue because the vinegar kind of cuts through the richness of whatever you're eating, and it's so fresh tasting, and it's even better with string beans from the garden, but it is perfect. You should make these. I bet your family or your friends, or maybe it's just for yourself, whoever it is, they're gonna like them. That was a juicy one. Enjoy them.